Hey, Beyond Fitness, Jamie here. This week we're going to talk about hip stiffness, and with that we're going to cover hip mobility and hip stability. We're going to do some multi-directional work for our hips and then put them into a flow sequence. I learned this from Dean Somerset and Tony Gentile Court when I went over to Oslo, and I find it just a great little flow sequence to really open up our hips. So let's get doing that. What I like to do for this multi-directional mobility work is to start off in a nice position for our hips. So you want to find what is best for you. Some people will have to start with their hands behind them and their feet quite out far in front. But what we eventually want to be able to do is bring our feet up to a comfortable position to here, while trying to keep a nice neutral spine. So what I mean by that is I want us to try and get as nice straight back as you can see, like that, rather than looping and letting our back sag like this. So you might need to put your arms back here in order to get into that nice straight position like this. Now from there, what I want you to do is I want us to move our hips rather than move our upper back. So I'm going to try and keep my upper back in a nice straight position, and all I'm going to do is move my hips into a posterior and anterior tilt, which all that means is all we're doing with our hips is just tilting it forwards and back, and that's what posterior and anterior tilting is. So we're just going to drop it down, push it up, drop it down, push it up. And you can see that my hips are just rocking backwards and forwards. Nothing else is moving, I'm just getting a little bit of movement from my lower spine. So all I do is a couple of movements with this, and some people actually start to feel like it starts to loosen off just by doing this one movement. Now if this is really tough for you, you can put your legs forward and your arms a little bit further back. Try and get yourself into that nice upright position, and you can kind of rock a little bit more from your hips there, and you get a little bit less movement. But what our goal is to be able to get into this upright position and loosen just from there. Now I always like starting with this, and then because it just starts to loosen off our lower back, like I said before. Okay, now once we've done that little movement at the beginning, what we're going to do is we're going to put our feet back shoulder width apart, and then all we're going to try and do is bring one of our knees onto the inside of our legs. So we're just going to drop it down like that. And our goal here is to try and sit up in a nice upright position. So I'm trying to focus on getting this hip to sit upright and let this hip sink down. So you can start really far out over here. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. So you can start all the way over here if you wanted, and then start to bring yourself up until you feel comfortable sitting in this nice upright position. With my front leg, I'll try and keep it nice and straight, and I'm trying to face my hips into that position and let this far hip sink down. And I just like to sit here for a little bit, take some nice deep breaths. And then I'm just going to shimmy round, so back to the beginning so we can see. Now from this position, we're in this nice square position here. Now we're going to rock back to the beginning. So all we're doing is internal and external rotation, which just means to just rock our legs inwards and outwards like this, kind of like a wind wiper on your car. Now what we want to do is we want to go over to the opposite side. So we're going to go from here, and still keeping that back upright, just like we did in the first movement. We're going to come over, and then come up, over, and then come up. And this is really just letting all of this loosen up. You might find that you're too tight to do it, but just do what you're capable of doing, okay? Now we're going to go over, and over, and over, okay? Now, what we want to be able to do eventually is not just have the mobility there, but also have the stability through the joint going through that range of movement. So what I want you to do is we're going to go from here, and we can try doing it without your hands, so you'll have to control that movement through that range of movement. So we're gaining the stability there through that range of motion. So we're stabilising your core, stabilising your hips as we go through that movement. Okay. But that is obviously where we would like you to get up to. But it's fine if you put your arms back here and you just try and open up. Even if you can't get all the way down to the bottom, you can just do small movements like this just to open them up to begin with. And you'll find it will start to open it up. Now, From that, we're going to do our next movement. We've gone from here, we've gone to there. Our next movement now is to get a little bit of movement from our hip just here and to go up like this. We're trying to really lock these hips out, stand up nice and tall. You can put this foot like this, or you can let it stay at the side. It just depends how much movement you've got from that hip. Coming down and rocking over to the other side, and then I'm just coming up and pushing my hip through. Down, and rocking over to the other side, and I'm pushing my hip through. Down, and to the centre, just like before, and over, push my hip through. Okay, and then down, and then back to the beginning. Okay, so far, we've done our anterior pelvic tilting, getting our hips just loosening off in that direction. We've done our hip rotation, so internal and external rotation, just like this. And then we've incorporated it to bring our core to start to activate a little bit, so a little bit core activation, made it more of a dynamic movement. So we've took our hands away, we're making it a little bit more. And then we've also got that hip drive, and starting to link it in together. Good. And now what we're going to try and do is we're going to start to try and get a little bit more movement from this, from our hips. So we're going to go into a kind of a hip flexor stretch next. So from here, we're going to brace down, keep ourselves nice and strong, and I want us to step through. So from there, step through. And we're getting that nice solid hip flexor stretch. Now we want to push from our hip and not from our back, okay? So make sure everything's nice and solid. Make sure that you're not flaring your rib cage. Get yourself in a nice solid position and just push a little bit from the hip. And then you're going to come back, lower yourself. Now see, all of this is control, and I'm controlling all of the movements. We want you to get up to that point. But saying that, there's nothing wrong with you using steps or a chair or just even trying to help yourself up with your hands to get yourselves into these positions to start with. But eventually, we'll work to the point where you are controlling all of this hip movement. I'm coming down nice and slow. So what I don't want is to fudge down. I want it to be up in a controlled position and then down in a controlled position. And then over to the other side. Over, nice and controlled, drive that hip through, and then we're going to take a step. So I'm just going to step out this way. Okay? I'm going to get that hip flexor stretch and come up. Okay, then we're going to come back down, come in, and then rotate into the centre. And then we'll be back to the beginning. Just by doing a couple of them exercises and linking them all together and putting them into that nice flow pattern that I learned from Dean and Tony, we can really start to get our hips to loosen off. And just by loosening our hips off, you'll probably find that it will help your lower back as well. The more flexible we are with our hips, the less brunt we're going to put on our backs, and it's going to make our everyday tasks a lot easier. So just doing little movements like this is really good. Now I'm just going to add one more exercise onto the end of this flow pattern, and then I'm going to show you a couple of other stretches just to add into it. Okay, so we've been to here, the neutral position, we've rocked our hips, anterior posterior tilt, we've done our internal external rotation, and now we've gone through, then we've done our hip flexor stretch. Now you're going to see the back of me in a second. So what I want you to do is this back leg here, this one here. What we're going to do is put your foot on, make sure it's a nice solid position. You've still got that hip flexor stretch. And then from there, we're going to use our back leg to rotate out, and you're going to have your back, I'm going to have my back to you now. You ready? So there. See how I've got that nice rotation from this movement, and I've sat down into it. I'm going to come back, get that rotation again from our hip. We're going to come back to this position, nice and controlled. I'm lowering myself. I'm coming over to the other side, and then I'm coming up. And then I'm going to do my step through, just going to have to move slightly. What I'll do is I'll do it from this position so you can see a little bit better. So I'm going from there, done my step through so you can get there. This back leg just here is going to rotate out that way. So I'm digging my back foot in. You just see my back foot is just dug in just there. We're going to really make sure this hip does nice movement over that way, and our knee is going to rotate at the same time. Okay, so rotate. And I like to just sit down a little bit and just push out a touch. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep my back in a nice straight position. You see that? I'm just going to the side. So I'm trying to keep myself in a nice back position. You might have to be a little bit more up here and push there. What we don't want is just to sag our backs and then try and do it. Get yourself into a nice straight position and sit down into that stretch. I can get quite far. I'm quite good at this. But for you, you might have to just find the level that you're good at, and that's all there is to it, okay? So, we've been through that nice flow pattern. I'm going to do it one more time all the way through, one side to the other side. I'll keep my mouth closed, okay? You ready? And we're back to the beginning. So hopefully that started to loosen up your hips a little bit now. I've found this work wonders with my clients. So many people that come in here holding tension, complaining about lower back pain, complaining about stiff hips, telling me that they're going on long trips in the car and it's just really getting painful in their hips. I've done this, I have put the practice that I learned with Dean into an actual scenario with live clients, and they love it. My clients have really benefited from all of these exercises, and I just wanted to put this together for some of my clients so they can practice it at home, but also for other people to have a go themselves. Now I'm going to show you another stretch which I find that really helps open up our hips. So we're going to get into let's do it from this way to start with. So we're going to get into this position, our knees out, our body forwards and our weight forwards. I'm keeping my back straight at the moment, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back, keeping that back straight. I'm just sitting back into it. So I'm getting a nice stretch on the inside of my legs. I'll do it from the side. You'll probably see a better view from that side. So all I'm doing is, I've got my feet together at the moment, but you can also do it outwards. It just depends, you'll feel a different stretch for doing both. Now I'm keeping my back straight, I'm getting my knees as wide as I can. Now some people will find this very difficult, so just start off up top. Just breathe through it. Don't let your hips sag, keep yourself upright, don't let this back bend, okay? So keep it in that nice neutral position. I always do is take a nice deep breath. Deep breath in, and then on the way out, breathe out and let yourself sit back. And you'll get a really good stretch on the inside of your groin. Now just hold it for a little bit, and then take a deep breath in, and then breathe out. Keeping that pelvis up, don't let it sink, so keep that pelvis up. Nice deep breath in, and then breathe out. Okay, so just by doing a couple of them, that little flowing sequence, that little stretch at the end, I've found that this helps my clients so much. So just remember, we've got the tilting of our hips, then we've got the internal external rotation, I like the wind wipers, and then we've got our hip drive, where we're sitting a little bit more upright, and then we've got our step through for our hip flexor, then we switch round and we sit down into a squat, and then we reverse the pattern all the way through. And then if you finish with this little exercise at the end, I'm really sure that this is really going to help loosen up your hips and your lower back. So try it. If this has helped you, send it over to a friend, or If you've got any questions, then drop a message to me and I will try and help you. If I haven't demonstrated anything well enough, or you feel like you want to see it from a different angle, let me know. Just drop me a message, put a comment in the comment box, and I will sort everything out for you. But remember, it's all about making you feel good, making all your life tasks in your everyday living easier, and it's about living long, being strong, and going beyond.